if there's something that I've learned over the last couple of years, it's this. It's you're going to have to do things that you hate in order to get things that you love, right? And a good way to show this is the story of how I found my first deal. And it was the start of last year. It was winter, it was freezing, it was raining, it was fucking awful. I didn't have a car. I was working as a lifeguard, and I was hunting for deals day in, day out, just constant viewings. And there was one viewing that I had to get the train. So I got the train from Sheffield to Derby. So I had to walk to work. Do you know how you get those little shopping trolleys from Home Bargains? I took the bag off that, put my ladder on that, and at 5:30 in the morning I walked to work in the rain. I then put my ladder in the staff room, and when I finished my shift at lunchtime, I took the trolley with my ladder on it and walked to the train station, soaking wet because it was pissing rain that day. On the train it was full, as they always are, so I was sat in the luggage part. So in between carts, you have people sitting in one cart, people sitting in the other cart, and in between them you have where your luggage is. So I was sat there underneath with all the luggage, with people's legs in my face, with my ladder and my trolley. I then get to Derby, and because I was skint, I wasn't able to afford an Uber. So I had to walk from the train station to the viewing, and by the time I got there, I was 10 minutes late. I was freezing, soaking wet, sore, tired, frustrated, embarrassed. And I got in the viewing, walked around, and the family were there along with the agent, and they didn't take me seriously because there was it was that chaotic at the time. There was a lot of other people viewing at the same time. Like, there was overlaps, and I was just walking around with my laser measure, just measuring up. Went upstairs, and I was like, look, I need to get into the loft. I need to measure the floor of the loft to the roof ridge to see if what I want to do works. And I was like, how do you get into the loft? She opened the cupboard, and it was like a railing full of clothes, full of her clothes. And you see a little hatch at the top. And I was like, look, I've brought my ladder. Is it okay if I get up there? They're like, yeah, but I don't want to take my clothes off. I don't want to do that. So rather than bottling it, I just said, look, if I get into that loft and the measurement comes out right, I'll put an offer in before the door hits me on the way out. And she was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, I'm serious. I didn't look at me. I didn't do all of this if I'm not serious. And she took all the clothes, took the railing off. Her husband took the railing off and put them all on the bed. I was able to get up, get the measurement. I was happy with it. And when the door closed behind me, I stood there, called the agent, and put my offer in of £139,000. I think it was listed for like 136 or something. And by the next day, the offer got accepted. And that's how we got our first deal. That's how we got Project Brighton, the first one. So why am I telling you this? I'm saying, if you're not willing to drag a fucking ladder on a shitty shopping trolley to work in the morning in the pissing rain, do your shift, do all of that again all the way down to a city in the rain, do all of that, right? If you're not willing to go through all of that embarrassment, frustration, anger, uncertainty, bearing in mind I had done this several times by that point. That was not just like, oh, I done it once and then I got it. Like, I was doing it for a long time, and I still done it more times after that. If you're not willing to do all of that, if you're not willing to do something you hate in order to get something you love, then I strongly advise you to quit right now, because you can't only do the things that you like to do. Listen, it's tough out there. It's tough out there. You have to do things like that. It's brutal. But now that Project Brighton, when went on to do the next viewing and stuff. I got the next deal. We were able to onboard the next investor by leveraging that project, and then you leverage the 2 projects, and then before you know it, now when I onboard private investors, of which fill out the form below if you want to become a private investor, put your money to work. When I onboard them, sometimes I just show them around the projects. I can leverage the projects. Look, here's what I'm doing. Social media, I leverage them. It all adds on to the next. I still have to do things I really don't like. You know, that's all part of it. But that's the work. Fucking swaying, man. Jesus, swaying over to my lane. But that's the work that'll make you successful. All right. Okay. I went to a London networking event a few weeks ago. Bear in mind, that was fucking terrifying. I was very fucking nervous the entire time. But I'm now meeting someone that I met there. You know, who knows what this might lead to? Who knows what this might lead to? Following up, setting up the meetings, and who knows? It's a win-win. So when you go to a networking event and you're like, do you want to go for a coffee? Don't be like, oh, if I don't onboard them, if I don't have them as an investor, it's a failure. You can still learn something from each other. You still build your networks, still build connections. And that's how I've got like a lot of my friends. Like bare minimum, you get a coffee out of it. You know what I mean? So it's fine. It's a win-win. And I'll see what happens throughout the rest of the day. See you in a bit. Right, we have arrived at Project Sun. And we've walked through it the other day, but the plasterboard and insulation, that's the insulation there, has arrived. Plastering is starting tomorrow. Look at this. Plasterboard, and plaster and insulation. There. Come on, look at that. On all floors. Ready to go. All right. So I had that meeting. I'll rewind a little bit. I went to London a few weeks ago to go to a networking event, and I think I spoke about this earlier in this video. Hopefully I have. I went there, and my goal was to go to the networking event and actually go in and speak to people. It wasn't necessarily to close anyone. It was just to prove to myself that I've got the balls to drive to London, get the tube, get a new suit, a first proper suit, go into the event and just talk to people. You know, it was a high net worth event. It was like you could throw a stone and fucking hit 10 Downing Street. It was like really fucking close. So I was like, I felt like I was out of my depth, but despite feeling anxious and despite, you know, all the doubt creeping in, I still went in and talked to people. One of the guys that I talked to who was really helpful, and basically he reached out to me on LinkedIn, and we've been talking for the last couple of weeks. We decided to meet up today, met for a coffee, and for 2 hours, it flew by. We just got to know each other. I told him my story, he told me his. He's a bit older than me, but he's done a lot, got a lot of incredible stories and connections and stuff. Anyway, basically, we're talking about how can we help each other? What is the point of this meeting? How can we collaborate? How can we work together? And as I explained to him, like, look, my goal is to raise finance. I'm wanting to meet investors and stuff. And he really liked my values. He really liked me as a person. And not to toot my own horn a wee bit too much, but he sees something in me. So he's going to introduce me to a lot of his connections, a lot of his people in his world. And, you know, said like local MPs and high net worth business owners and stuff, and we're going to arrange all of that, which is exciting. It's exciting, and I think it's kind of mind blowing that someone sees that in me. It's kind of mind blowing, you know. It's taken me years to build my confidence and believe in myself, and after a 2 hour conversation, he understood everything that I've been through. And we're going to, you know, go to events together. He's going to introduce me to people who he believes would be good for private investor finance. And yeah, he's just rooting for me, man. And you might be thinking, Scott, what's in it for him? To be honest, I don't know. I'm going to try and add value where I can. But what I have learned is there's a lot of people that are at the top of their career. they're doing well, they've done everything they need to do, they've been through the grind, and they've gotten where they want to go. And sometimes they just help. Sometimes I've had that before, like people are just, they help out, they see someone that's going through the trenches, that's giving everything they've got to fund their dream and pursue their dream, and they want to be a part of that journey, and they want to help out where they can. Like I've helped people, I've shown people around these projects, and like I don't get anything from them. I just like knowing that I've helped someone who is where I used to be. So it's kind of that scenario, but I'm on the receiving end, which is nice. So why do I say that? Why am I telling you about my little win? Why do you care? Basically, I went to London. If my goal was to raise finance, I would have failed. However, decided to follow up and meet up with a coffee and stuff like that. And then that's going to translate into meeting more people, meeting high net worth people, people who may become private investors, or just basically they could be just become friends. And that's still amazing for me, you know, building my network. So what I'm trying to say to you is be proactive. If you go to a networking event, don't go with, if I don't raise in finance, I've failed. If I don't find a client, I've failed. You know, go with the mindset as, fucking hell, there's dust going in my mouth. Go with the mindset of, I'm here to grow my network. I'm here to get out of my comfort zone. And if I grow my network and I get out of my comfort zone, then I've won. I've accomplished my goals. You know, if you raise finance, fucking brilliant. Look, I'm not saying decline any clients or finance, but what I am saying is reduce your expectations and then see where you get from there. Just follow up. Do you want to go for a coffee? How about we go for a coffee and see how we can work together? How can we help each other? How can we collaborate? Remember, I always preach, collaborate, don't compete. Just do that, right? Do that. And you never know what could come from it. I'm hopeful. The minimum I've gotten is I've got a new friend and I got a coffee. And I got solid advice and I gave him solid advice, and this is it, you know. Anything that comes off it, brilliant. But my strategy is to meet people and see who do they know. Go to networking events. Let's go to an event together and see if we can meet people together, you know. And when I go to those events, do you want to grab a coffee? And look, I'll pitch my services to them and pitch their investment opportunity to them. But also it could just be a new friendship. It could be something like that. It doesn't have to be life or death. I always thought it was life or death. If I didn't onboard this person that is sat in front of me, I have failed. That's not always the case, you know. So enough of me rambling on. You can see plasterboard is coming in. It's exciting. It's great, isn't it? And first fix is pretty much done. We're ready. We're doing it. This is what I'm building. Building something. And then I can finally give back my why. I want to sponsor my football team he asked me, what's your why? And I was like, I want to sponsor my football team back at home. I want to put stuff in that community back at home. I want to build stuff in that little village that I'm from. Shout out to all Ness. And I want to pay off parents' mortgages. I want to give back to the people that have supported me. I'm really blessed that everyone in my life supported me. They rooted for me. No one doubted me. Everyone was behind me and emotionally supported me. And I want to give back to those people. That's my dream. That's my long-term dream. So in order to do that, I have to have my own portfolio and build other people's portfolios. In order to do that, I need to raise finance and find investors. In order to do that, I need to get out there and network, get out there and tell people what it is I'm looking for. And in order to do that, I have to have something to talk about, like this, social media. Copy what I'm doing, man. Get out there, do what you're doing. I was uncomfortable going into the meeting because I get anxious about networking. But by the end of it, I just told the truth. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. And this is where I want to go. This is what I want to be. This is how I want to give back. And just being honest. Be honest, man. That's it. Be truthful. And you'll soon have the right team around you. You'll soon gravitate the right people around you who share your values. And then that's how you make it sustainable. If you're an arsehole and you lie, you deceive, those are the people that you're going to gravitate around you. And you'll burn the candle bright and fast. But being honest and truthful, having good values, it may take longer to succeed, but it'll last longer. And it'll be a better legacy to leave behind, Trips. Right, enough of me acting like I'm some sort of Gandhi. You know what I mean? Shut up, Scott. Right, I'm probably going to call the video here, man. That's it. It's more of a talking video today rather than showing. Like and subscribe. and I'll see you next time.